The 2023 AFL season has not even started yet, and we've got three very interesting situations here where each one could have possibly ended up in a suspension. Let's take a look at them and see what's happened previously and what the suspensions are, if any. Your mate Trent Cotchin is back yet again. As you can see, he throws not one but two elbows, with the second one holding into harm's neck. For this, he was dealt a $1,500 fine, or a penalty can be reduced to just $1,000 with an early guilty plea. In 2021, Jack Viney did the same thing to Sam Collins, and yes, the intensity and the length of him holding his elbow into the throat is quite a bit longer, and it does look a little bit more severe. This was taken to the tribunal, and Jack Viney was given 2 weeks for this. It's not too dissimilar from Trent Cotchin's incident. And to be totally honest, I have no idea how Cotchin keeps getting away with this. He continues to be an absolute grub in the sport and gets away with it. I know everyone says that the AFL has favourites and whatever, but this is just getting ridiculous that he can do this, get nothing. Jack Viney does something similar, but most definitely a lot harsher, and he gets 2 weeks, but Trent Cotchin gets a $1,000 fine. It's ridiculous. Is this setting precedence for later in the year when someone else does this and they can get off with a simple fine? In this one, we can see Brayden Preuss absolutely flips Tom Berry. In Preuss's defence, Tom Berry does jump towards Preuss. He lifts him, he holds him, but he does let go at the end. I think I'm okay with this one, but this is very, very close. He's got to be careful. With Preuss's history, he probably could have been suspended, but because Tom Berry didn't get an injury, there's no suspension. In this next one, we can see Zorko cleans up Baker here. This one is totally fine as well. And in this one, we can see Isaac Heaney does tackle Geary, but it does look okay. It's around the hips, maybe a little bit higher. He does sort of lift him a little bit, but this one is fine as well. As far as I can tell, these 3 cases against Preuss, Zorko and Isaac Heaney all resulted in no fines and nothing to answer for, which I think is fine. At least it's consistent, and that's pretty much all the fans are looking for. And in this one, Cockatoo takes out Gore. This was incidental. This went to the MRO. He was given 1 week, but it was overturned in the end as he hit his head on the ground, which is what caused the concussion. This one is a little bit confusing, as when the player hits the ground as a result of the tackle, it usually does lead to a week suspension. So again, this one's a little bit confusing. We've seen it where bumps and tackles, like Paddy Ryder's bump last year, was fine, but it resulted in whiplash and a concussion, which in the end Paddy Ryder got 2 weeks for. So not sure how this, in my opinion, very dangerous tackle does not lead to at least a week suspension, because after all, he only hit his head because of the dangerous tackle. This should have been a week. Goey was in hot water again after this dangerous tackle was laid on Meek. The commentators at the time were saying it depends on if he hits his head and if he has concussion, which is correct the way the AFL have been doing it at the moment, which is frustrating. Should do it on the action, not on the outcome. Now, if we take a look at what happened last year in a very similar incident where Goey laid a tackle on Dangerfield, it probably was a little bit more aggressive, but Goey did complete a dangerous dumping tackle on Dangerfield, and for this he was given a week. And last year as well, Cam Rayner laid this dangerous tackle on Ben Brown, and he also got a week for this dangerous tackle. I do agree with this one, as Ben Brown's hands were pinned to his chest, and he was slung and then slammed face first into the ground. A week for this seems fair. But going back to the original preseason Goey tackle, it's not that dissimilar from the Dangerfield tackle. I'm not sure how one of them you get 1 week and the other you do not. Meek's head does hit the ground. As far as I'm aware, there is no concussion, and Goey was let off with just a $3,000 fine. So after watching all of these, and there's no suspensions for any of these dangerous tackles or dangerous incidents, I'm not sure what the AFL, what their message is. Are they going to allow these sort of tackles where people can just get a fine, or are they going to start suspending people once it's in the regular season? Why is it that because it's in the preseason you don't get suspended? Yet again, the consistency of the AFL's ruling is very confusing and very frustrating for AFL fans to watch. If you made it this far in the video, I thank you for watching. If you're new, subscribe. Otherwise, just leave a like. Thanks. Appreciate it.